Greetings, my name is Monty Martin.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
And we are the Dungeon Dudes. And we are thrilled to announce our next Kickstarter project, Monsters of Drakkenheim, is launching this March.
Monsters of Drakkenheim is a monster book with over 150 new monsters available for 5th edition, written by us, the Dungeon Dudes.
We're following up our amazing success from Dungeons of Drakkenheim and Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim with a massive tome, our biggest book yet, packed with new eldritch monstrosities, mutated beasts, and undead horrors, spanning multiple tiers of play from challenge rating 1 all the way up to challenge rating 30.
We've put a lot of work into designing really cool and dangerous monsters with unique and never-before-seen abilities. But that's not the only thing we're focusing on in this book. We want this book to also broaden the scope of the world of Drakkenheim, so we are including in-depth lore entries complete with skill checks for monster research and a bunch of the tools on how to use these monsters in combat and where they come from in our world. So not only are you going to get a ton of brand new monsters to use, but if you are playing in a Drakkenheim campaign, you're going to get a lot of tools for how to run them and where they might appear in your world.
If you enjoyed books like Volo's Guide to Monsters for the way that they blended lots of in-depth lore with lots of cool new monsters, you're going to love the work that Kelly and I are doing with the Monsters of Drakkenheim project. Because we believe that a monster stat block is way more than just having really cool abilities to terrify your players and put forth an interesting tactical challenge. They need to be backed up with interesting adventure hooks and some really cool layers and locations, complete with tactical maps associated thematically with the monsters that are in the book.
On top of all of that, we are also adding loot into this book. We're implementing a brand new crafting system which is inspired by some of our favorite games like Breath of the Wild or Valheim. We love the idea of taking apart the monsters that you've defeated and designing brand new magic items from the awesome parts of the horrible monsters that you've slain.
Your player characters will be able to rip the monsters apart, take them back to cool workshops, laboratories, and forges, and build new magic items that we're creating specifically for the book that are thematically based on the monsters they're made from, but also crafting recipes for all the 5th edition SRD magic items that are already out there. So if you want to make potions of healing, +1 swords, and magic shields, you can do that using this system. What's unique about our crafting system is that it's not based on downtime, gold pieces, or skill checks. None of that's here. This is a crafting system where the player characters are going out, going on adventures, fighting really cool, horrible monsters, taking back their blood and their horns and their scales and whatever other pieces they can harvest from their bodies and using those to make magic items that they're going to use on their next adventure. So if you've been looking for a crafting system that doesn't require your player characters to spend 55 gold pieces on abstract materials and then spend 40 days of downtime just to make a potion, this might be the right system for you.
To bring these monsters to life, we're also adding a bunch of brand new deadly conditions that you can use in your game. Some of the ones that we're most excited about are the elemental conditions like burning, freezing, and shock that will add debilitating effects to the creatures impacted by them, and they'll have to choose how they want to get out of them. But we are also adding in a brand new system for some of our most deadly monsters in the book, and that is our rules for epic bosses.
Kelly and I are big believers on the epic final showdown, when the player characters face off against a single terrible monster in a climactic moment in the campaign. Well, there have been a lot of ways to make boss fights really cool in 5th edition. We wanted something that really reflected, once again, the way that we like the flow of combat. These rules allow these epic bosses to really take on an entire group of player characters because epic bosses take actions after every single player character. So you get this really neat back and forth between the players and the boss that they're facing against, and the boss always has enough actions to take on what whatever the player characters can throw at them.
Our epic bosses also have epic resistance. This works differently than legendary resistance. We find that legendary resistance can be a little bit upsetting at the table when the characters are unleashing their best abilities just to have the monster say, no, I'm going to use legendary resistance. Our fix for that is epic resistance. This means that you can unleash your deadly effects on the boss monster, disable them, but they can use one of their actions to try to shake off the effects. This means that after every player character's turns, they can try to shake off the effects of a hypnotic pattern or a hold monster or anything like that. This means that the player characters get to unleash these amazing powers, take the boss out for maybe 1 or 2 turns, but the boss can still shake it off easier than most other creatures in the game. This means that both the boss is more robust than a regular monster, but the players get to have fun using their abilities on it.
No encounter is going to end just because the boss failed a saving throw against Hold Monster. And of course, the whole book is brought together with valuable advice and observations from one of the heroes from the world of Drakkenheim, the Caspian Prince and Knight, Pluto Jackson.
Pluto Jackson's Monster Slaying Guide is going to be chock full of quips and humorous quotes by the legendary monster hunter himself. And I'm sure you'll find them all very useful when you get your hands on the book.
Yes. Beyond putting together Pluto Jackson's Monster Slaying Guide filled with all of these new creatures, we're also going to be bringing in a whole slew of new accessories for you to use in your games, including miniatures of some of the coolest monsters in the book, like the humongous fungus troll and the cacophonous chimera, as well as the apothecary abominations, the creations of the mad scientists of the worlds of Drakkenheim.
We're going to also have dice, a new Dungeon Master screen, and for everybody out there who plays digitally, we're going to have a full digital bundle available for those of you who just want the digital assets, and there's going to be quite a few of those as well.
Yeah, you'll be able to get the PDF and the VTT module in a complete digital pledge with a couple extra digital goodies involved as well. In addition, we'll also have STLs available of all the miniatures that we're creating for the campaign. So if you're interested in 3D printing, you'll be able to get the STLs to print yourself, or you can pick up the physical miniatures if that's what you would prefer to do.
If you are interested in Monsters of Drakkenheim, make sure to follow the links below to join on the Kickstarter campaign now. But also, you can join our VIP Discord to get access to a private chat room where Monty and I are talking about our work on the book. And there are also some gifts and prizes for those of you who enter in the VIP Discord.
For only $1, you'll be able to get into our VIP lounge, a new Discord where we'll be sharing a behind-the-curtain look at the process, the content going into the book, and where you'll be able to chat with us and follow the project as we build up to the launch. Also, in anticipation for the launch at the end of the month, we are going to be having a short special live play miniseries, Pluto Jackson's Monster Hunt, which is going to be airing on Tuesday evenings here on YouTube, where we will be showcasing some of the new monsters from the book in direct confrontation with Pluto Jackson, and some other new heroes in the world of Drakkenheim.
Also within that actual play, you'll be able to see our fully painted prototypes of the minis for the monsters that are going to be appearing in this Kickstarter. We're hard at work getting those ready now and getting them ready for battle against Pluto Jackson.
Whether you were there when we aired the very first episode of Dungeons of Drakkenheim, had been with us on our Patreon Discord for months or even years, whether you backed Dungeons of Drakkenheim or Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim, thank you for helping bring this world to life. We're so excited to continue to be able to grow and expand the world of Drakkenheim and bring more cool eldritch horror and the terrible nightmares from our imaginations to share with your game tables.
And if you're just jumping in and this is your first time backing us, thank you as well for being a part of the ongoing journey in the worlds of Drakkenheim. We're so excited to share more with you soon. Stay tuned for plenty more previews to come, and we'll see you next time in the dungeon.